Hey y'all, good morning. Welcome to English 102 online. Alright, so I know everybody probably has a lot of questions. I'm going to give you the answers that I have, okay? So I would like to first welcome you to our online classroom, and our online classroom is going to be in Moodle, right? So I'm going to switch my screen over now from me. Hi, I'm still here. I'm a human, not a robot, right? I'm going to switch my screen over to Moodle and kind of walk you through how things are set up and what my expectations are so that we're on the same page. Okay. Okay, so once you've gotten logged into Moodle, then you'll see at the top of our course page is the Getting Started with Starfish video from GMC. If you haven't already set up your Starfish profile, please do that. If you have, you can just skip over it. The next thing you'll see is the campus Twitter feed. This is going to be a great resource for any updates about when we're coming back or how long we'll be online, or anything like that. So if you scroll down below that, you'll see our course syllabus, and I want you to read over the syllabus and let me know if you have any questions. You can send me a message in Moodle, you can email me, you can, if it's a general question, you can post it on the announcements discussion board as well. So let's look at the syllabus. This is a Monday through Thursday course, so I will be online and available Monday through Thursday. You're welcome to work ahead if you'd like to, if that fits your schedule better, because I know we're all having to be kind of flexible during this time. But for attendance purposes, there is at least one assignment due every day that we would normally have class. So that is due not by 9:05 when class would normally let out. It's going to be due by 11:59 p.m. that night. So before midnight, you need to submit that assignment. So that's why I say I recommend maybe trying to get a day ahead so that if you have questions about that assignment, or suddenly you're, keeping the neighbor's kid and you got a house full and you can't sit down to work, or suddenly you get called in for an extra shift that you weren't expecting, something like that. By working a day ahead, it gives you more opportunities to not fall behind and not be marked as absent. My office hours are every day from 1:30 to 2:30. During that time, at 2 o'clock, I will be online and available until 4:30 for Dr. Dent's class the first 2 weeks. I'm helping cover Dr. Dent's class because she has to be out for a while. But since I will be online during that time for her students, that also gives you extended time that you can reach me. So feel free to send me a message or email during that time. Okay, so a couple of things. If you send me a Moodle message, it is likely that I will reply to you via email because I have those forwarded to my email, and then I can reply from there even if I'm on my smartphone, right? So even if I'm in the laundry room or out in the yard with my kid or whatever, I'll be able to respond to you, but it'll likely be through your student email. So please, 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 please actually check your student email this quarter. Okay, so English 102, what is it all about? Well, English 102 is kind of our intro to literature course. We're going to study 3 different types of writing. We're going to study short stories, poetry, and then plays. And we are going to cover literary terminology. So things like that you might be familiar with, like symbolism, simile, metaphor, and things that might be new, you may not have heard of before, like allusion or allegory. And we will still be writing in this course, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. So when in English 101 you learned how to put together an argumentative essay, you're going to be using that skill in English 102 as well. You're going to be writing an argumentative research paper, but instead of doing it about a particular issue, you're going to be doing it about an interpretation of one of the works of literature that we're going to be reading as a class. Okay? So let's move forward and talk about how your grade is determined in this class. There's basically 4 categories for assignments. The one that's got the most impact on your overall average is the compositions category. So that's where big writing assignments like the annotated bibliography, the formal outline, the in-class essay, and the presentation. So speaking about those assignments really quickly, right now we're expected to return after spring break. So if we do, then that will be an in-class essay and that will be a in-class presentation. If we do not return this term, then the in-class essay will become a timed writing. So basically, I will set it up in Moodle like an exam and give you an essay question, right? And then you will respond to that essay question. You will have 3 hours to complete it, and then it will auto-submit whatever you had ready. Just like at the end of class, I'd be like, okay, turn it in, and then I would grade whatever you got done. So the timed writing in-class essay is pretty much going to be the same whether we do it physically in class or online. And then for the presentation, I think what we're going to do for the presentation, if we remain online, is you will still prepare a PowerPoint presentation, and you will also prepare a script of what you would say, right? Because we don't just read off our slides. That's a really boring presentation. We add to it. We add transitions between the ideas. So you'll give me that script of how you would do that, and then for extra credit, I'll give you the opportunity to record yourself presenting and share that recording with the class. And I'll provide some free resources for how to do that as we get closer, if it looks like we really will be online throughout the term. So I hope that answers your questions about the presentation and the in-class essay. So what are the other things that factor into your overall class average? All the little stuff that we do. Normally on my syllabus it says online and in class. Well, now it's all online, at least for now. So quizzes, assignments, anything that's not an exam, a research paper, or a composition, all of that stuff is worth 20% of your overall grade. Submitting those assignments on time counts as your attendance, and then your grades on those assignments factor into your overall class average. So I hope that makes sense, but let me know if you have any questions. We have one research paper. It is worth 20% of your grade, but the compositions that we do are building up toward your research paper. So you're getting feedback on your thesis statement and sources in the annotated bibliography. You're getting feedback on your organization and your use of sources in your outline, so that by the time you get to your research paper, you're in pretty good shape. And then if we remain online, we'll also be doing some peer reviews, so you'll have the opportunity to get feedback from each other. Okay, so as a reminder for this course, the English 102 research paper is a requirement to pass the course. So if you do not submit the research paper, or if you plagiarize the research paper, then you will not be able to pass English 102. So of all the things in the course to take seriously, that would be the one. Let me know as soon as you can over the coming weeks if you need help with the research paper. Okay, so let's move on. We have the English 102 QEP assignment. This is the annotated bibliography, which we'll talk about more as we get closer. It is going to basically have 3 parts. It'll have your thesis statement so that I can approve it or tweak it and help make sure it's strong enough for this kind of paper. The second part will be your statement of critical perspective, which will make sense in a few weeks when we talk about literary criticism. And then the third part of it is the actual annotated bibliography. So a bibliography is a list of sources. It's basically your works cited page. But an annotated bibliography includes annotations, notes about the bibliography, the works cited. So underneath each source, you'll give me a short paragraph that basically answers questions here, and you'll see some more on the actual handout, that answers questions to show this is a scholarly source, this is how it benefits my paper, and here's one or two integrated quotes that I can use for my paper. So again, we'll talk about that more when it gets closer. So now let's talk about disability support. Any student who feels he or she may need an accommodation or assistance based on the impact of a disability should apply for accommodations at gmc.edu, Quick Links Disability Services. The student support coordinator can be reached by emailing wr_studentsupport@gmc.edu. I think we're good here. Late policy. All of your big assignments, your compositions, and your research paper have a 24-hour grace period. That means for any reason, you can submit your assignment within 24 hours of the due date, and I will still accept it with no late penalty. Okay? So you would still be marked as absent because you weren't there that day, but you can still turn it in within 24 hours for no academic penalty. All right? Next up, you've got to finish these assignments and submit them electronically. So that means turning stuff in Moodle, okay? If you ever have an issue uploading a file, once we start doing the compositions, the quizzes and everything are easy. You just click, 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 and turn it in. But if you ever have an issue uploading a file, you need to email that file to me, and that way I will count it as present because you emailed it to me on time, and I will submit it in Moodle for you. So next up, do allow one makeup exam, but only one makeup exam, okay? If you end up not being able to take the exam before midnight on that night, please let me know as soon as you can that you cannot and why you cannot, and then I will work with you on how to get that made up. Usually I do an alternate exam, but it may be easier on both of us this time to change it from an exam to a writing assignment, maybe a 2-page paper. I'm going to have to figure out what that looks like, okay? So I would recommend personally just making sure that on the scheduled exam days, you set aside that day to take that exam. Y'all are here for English 102, so I'm sure you already know about the withdrawal policies and how IUs work, but I just want to go over that one more time with you. Faculty-initiated withdrawal is a grade of IU, and that is issued when you have exceeded the maximum number of absences in the course and the faculty member submits a withdrawal for you. So a grade of IU affects your amount of financial aid awarded for that quarter, which can have a major negative impact. It could result in you owing a balance to the college that you have to pay before you can register for more classes. It also carries the same academic penalty as an F, so it lowers your GPA, which could impact the amount of financial aid you qualify for in the future. So I highly, highly, highly recommend, if you are struggling in a class, reach out to your instructor. If you decide that you just absolutely cannot complete this class, don't stop showing up. Follow these instructions to submit a student-initiated withdrawal. So a student-initiated withdrawal is a grade of W. It does not impact your GPA, but depending on when you withdraw from a class, it can still affect the amount of financial aid awarded, which could still result in you owing a balance to the college, but at least it doesn't impact your GPA. So if you want to withdraw from a course, you need to email Rob, short for Robbins_withdrawals @gmc.edu, and copy your instructor on that email so that if it takes a few days to process, your instructor knows you're not absent, you're just withdrawing from the class. That way your instructor doesn't submit an IU while you're waiting on the W to be processed, right? So in that email, make sure you include your full name, your student ID number, the class name, the section number, and the professor's name. That way the registrar's office can withdraw you from the correct class and notify the instructor. So if you need any extra help during the quarter, please let me know. Email me, message me, and I will do my best to help answer questions, to give you examples, to walk you through what we're doing. I know it's not the same as face-to-face tutoring, face-to-face help, but I am working on something we can do to have that kind of one-on-one session, and I will update everybody once I figure out how that's going to work. So the GMC honor code states I will neither lie, cheat, steal, nor tolerate those who do. First offense for academic dishonesty, including plagiarism, is failure of the course. Second offense is expulsion from the college. In both cases, you are referred to the Student Honor Council. The Student Honor Council will hear your case and will decide what non-academic penalties should be applied. Best thing to do is just avoid plagiarism and academic dishonesty. So what does that look like in my class, in Miss Bradley's class? I can't speak for other classes, but in Miss Bradley's class, when an assignment is online, unless it says otherwise, you may use your notes, you may use your book. No Google. Do not go look things up online. That is not what I want you to do. I want you to use your brain and your resources, meaning your textbook and your notes, okay? So no Google and no asking someone else for help. No asking someone else what the answer to the question is. I feel like that kind of levels the playing field. I feel like that helps teach you to use your resources, right? Because in the real world, if we had a question about how to do something in our workplace, we would consult the manual, we consult our notes, right? And so that's why I let you use your book and your notes. I want you to do that. I just don't want you to be working together on these graded assignments. You can absolutely ask classmates for clarification ahead of time, but not while you're taking a quiz. Make sense? So just kind of keep that in mind. Again, that's my rule. That's in Miss Bradley's classes. Your other classes may have different expectations and may not want you to use your notes. Okay, so extra credit opportunities. This I'm going to adjust once they determine if we're going to remain online or come back on campus. But just in general, you have the chance to earn up to 20 extra credit points in this class. Up to 10 can go on any one assignment, exam, or essay. You have 4 opportunities for extra credit. Submit the ethics essay, submit to the newsletter, submit to the Bulldog Review. So the writing tutor, that's going to look different if we remain online, and I'll update you with that. Newsletter submission, there won't be any campus events, but you could still submit advice to new students, advice to future students. The Bulldog Review, that's your own creative work anyway, so you can still submit that. Maybe you've got some extra time on your hands to paint or sculpt or write, so feel free to submit those. And you can repeat any of these in any combination to the maximum extra credit points allowed. Okay, so now let's look at the class schedule. This is week 1, so today we're going to cover the syllabus, general expectations, and then go over MLA basics, how to avoid plagiarism, and you've got an assignment, just like we would do in class. I'm going to switch over to Moodle and show you where that is and what to do. So here we are in week 1. It says, Wednesday, read the syllabus, watch how to analyze literature, watch MLA basics and avoiding plagiarism, take the citation pretest and the hybrid quiz for attendance/grade. So by midnight tonight, you need to watch how to analyze literature. It's just a couple minutes, no worries. Watch MLA basics and avoiding plagiarism lecture. That's by yours truly. That one is a little bit longer. It's uploaded on YouTube, so it's easy to play. And then this is a printable version of that same lecture. And here are the 2 quizzes that you need to complete for your attendance and also for grades. Hybrid quiz and citation quiz. Before watching tomorrow's lecture, you need to read this short story, Mirror Image by Lena Coakley. Do all of that and you will be in excellent shape for day 1. Let me know if you have any questions and we will be in touch.